Hello everyone, and welcome to the How to Share, Collaborate, and Manage Drawing session. My name is Brian Vanass, and I am an application engineer for the DraftSight team at Dassault Systems. It is a pleasure to be here with you today. If you have any questions during this session, please feel free to ask in the live Q&A on the right side of your browser.
To start off, let's briefly talk about 3D Experience DraftSight and some of the common myths that we've associated when we talk about CAD and data management. 3D Experience DraftSight at a very high level is a single solution that allows you to design, manage, and share all of the drawings and data created inside of DraftSight as well as imported from other applications. So, let's mention a few myths that we have commonly heard and that some of you may have encountered in your workplace. First, data management is time-consuming and costly. Another common myth is that project management requires a different application, some sort of different program, whether that be on the cloud or on the desktop. And the third myth that I'd like to point out is that working on the cloud is difficult, in some cases impossible. Well, I'm here today to show you that all of these myths can easily be busted when we talk about 3D Experience DraftSight. There are, of course, common challenges in the industry. We know that when we work with drawings, there's a lot more than just creating that drawing and sending it out. There's review processes. The drawings have to be ready for production. They have to be ready for construction, for wiring, and inspection. There's quite a lot of detail and process involved between the time that you create a drawing and by the time the drawing is completely released and ready. Another common challenge is that there are quite a few sign-offs in the approval process. As we go through each of these stages of review, different managers and stakeholders have to review and sign off. Then we look at distribution and making sure that the right people can access the content. But not everyone needs full access, because some people may only need to view it for review purposes and don't need to have editing permission. So making sure that the right people have access can definitely be a challenge. And when we especially talk about large projects, think about something like an airport, a hospital. The volume of drawings that can be created from that one building number in the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. It is a challenge to be able to manage that kind of volume of data. And it's not just the drawings. There's so many additional documents that come into play when we talk about large projects. Think about some of the myths and common challenges. How does 3D Experience DraftSight provide a solution? Well, it all starts with the 3D Experience platform, which connects people, data, and ideas in a single collaborative ecosystem. Now, collaboration does come in many different forms. There's unstructured collaboration. For example, when we just communicate via instant message and email, but we're still collaborating with our colleagues, our teams, and other stakeholders throughout the entire project process. And then we look at structured collaboration, where we use formalized systems, which is something as simple as Excel or a full-scale project development and management application to track all of the different tasks, all of the different milestones associated with a project from start to finish. Now, the beauty of 3D Experience Platform is that we get all the different capability to do both unstructured as well as structured collaboration in a single, unified environment. And there are a lot of different apps on the platform that allow you to do that collaboration, to work through the process, and to communicate with others. There's dashboards, there's communities, there's file sharing, there's project planning, there's full data management, as well as things like tracking individual team members' tasks, issues, and change actions. And we're going to see all of this in just a few minutes.
Let's take a look at how it works. Okay, jumping into DraftSight. So here we are in DraftSight 2022, This is 3D Experience DraftSight Premium. As we can see, it is also called DraftSight Connected, as far as the application is concerned. So it is the exact same DraftSight like you would get on a desktop, except this is a 3D Experience version of DraftSight. What that really means is that now, on the right side, we have a new task pane that connects us directly to the 3D Experience platform directly from inside of the DraftSight application. So let's work through a few of the simple use cases on how we can manage our data, as well as manage our tasks that are related to the project we are working on directly inside of DraftSight. To start, I'm going to open up a drawing, one that I have saved locally on my PC. Alright, and that's open. We have, I would say, a very typical drawing, just a floor plan of a single-family home. The drawing is ready. As soon as we have it open, we can see that here, inside of the 3D Experience task pane, the drawing is recognized. And we can also see the status. What this indicates is that this particular drawing is not yet stored in our data management system and is not yet stored in the 3D Experience platform. So, first step is we'd like to save it up into the cloud. So, thinking back to our myths, how do we move data from the desktop to the cloud? I'll show you. It just takes one simple click. So, I'm going to right-click on this particular drawing, and I can save it. What's happened right now is the drawing is being uploaded directly to the 3D Experience platform. As soon as the upload is complete, the status of the drawing automatically updates. So, we can see, if we hover over it, it says the file has not been modified since the last time it was saved into the 3D Experience platform, which was just 1 second ago. Also, by default, when you upload a new drawing, it's reserved or locked to the user uploading, in this case, me. I can definitely unlock it so that it is available for someone else on my team to work on or review if needed. Alright, so now the drawing is no longer locked. As I mentioned, there is data management. What I mean by that is, directly inside of DraftSight, without having to go to the 3D Experience platform, without having to open any other application, we can start to manage the drawing, create new revisions, track the maturity or the life cycle state that that drawing is in. Additionally, we'll just go through that. Let's take a look at the maturity. So, right-click again, click on Maturity, and that will load our collaborative life cycle for this particular drawing. Because I just uploaded it, the drawing is in the in-work state. This can be customized, but I'm just using the out-of-box states that are available. So we have private, in-work, frozen, released, and obsolete. I can make that drawing private. And the maturity state is updated. So anyone else who could have access to this drawing or who's working on my team in the same collaborative space, they can no longer have access to this drawing since it is private to me. Or I can go ahead and release it. So I'll put it back into the in-work state, since we do go through a process as far as the transitions are concerned. And then we release this drawing. The drawing is now released. It's unlocked, and it's synced to the 3D Experience platform. Now, I am working through the right click. That's a personal preference. You also have access to all those same commands here in the toolbar at the bottom. So, you have your lifecycle view and functions, as well as some additional tools, like tracking the relations, if you have a drawing with the relations to other drawings, things like that. Additionally, through this task pane, I can create a new revision. Let's say that I've released this drawing, but now I want to make a change to it. Or perhaps I want to reuse this drawing for another client. So, I can create a new revision. And by default, because the first revision is A.1, the new revision is B.1. If I want to enter a comment, I can. And now, the new revision has been created. Now, I am still working in A.1, as that's the drawing that I currently have open inside of DraftSight. But as I make changes to it, let's do something very simple, like changing, let's just say, the line color of the doors. Very simple change. We'll save it, and as soon as I click Save, because this particular drawing is released, obviously making any changes to it requires creating a new revision. And when I do that, automatically it uploads that new revision directly into the 3D Experience platform. And now that revision is C.1. Again, when it uploads, my default is locked. I can unlock it so it is available to everyone else. For now, I'll leave this in the in-work state. Now, one other very, very powerful tool that I can use directly inside of the task pane for the 3D Experience platform is I can track tasks, so I can go more into the project management capabilities. I'm going to open my Compass. I'm going to open one of my favorite apps that I have, the Collaborative Tasks app. Here, I'm able to see all of the tasks that I've created or that I have assigned to me and what state they are in, whether they are in the to-do state, in work, or already complete. Now, I see there's a new task that I have to take care of for another project. In this case, I have to add dimensions. So first, I can review the task by clicking on it and see all the details. In this case, a drawing is missing a few exterior wall dimensions, so we can easily add those. I will update this to in work, and I can also see that there's an attachment. So here's the drawing that I need to add dimensions to. We'll go ahead and open that directly inside of DraftSight. As soon as I use that open with, the drawing is automatically going to get downloaded from the 3D Experience platform and is going to open up inside of the DraftSight interface. Alright, here we are. So we have the cafeteria drawing for another project. And looking at this specific sheet, I can see that there are actually some dimensions missing. So we can quickly fix that if we jump over into the model space. And let's use one of the features in DraftSight, in this case, Smart Dimension. So click here, add that dimension. We'll add the dimension for this other wall on the side here. And I think there's one more dimension missing. Here we go. Just grab the entire length of this wall. Perfect. I will use this drawing. It is in work, so I can override it or I can create a new revision. I will just simply create a new revision. So the task is complete. The drawing has been uploaded, so the task is complete. The new version with the correct dimensions has been uploaded. So I'll mark this task as complete. Task has been changed. And I can go back to my session. I see that I'm working with that new revision I created, B.1, and we can call that a very productive day. So, in just a few clicks, I'm able to do everything I love to do inside of DraftSight, as far as designing and editing my drawings. Beyond that, I have a lot of additional capabilities with the 3D Experience platform to manage my data, to create new revisions, to manage the project, and the tasks associated with it, all inside of the 3D Experience platform as well as inside of DraftSight. I have all these capabilities as far as data and project management in the cloud as well. So let's switch over to my browser and take a look. Here, I'm in the 3D Experience platform inside of my browser. I can see all of the project files, including the two that I was just working on a second ago. The floor plan for the house, as well as the cafeteria drawing that I just updated to add those dimensions. Now, as I mentioned, you can do everything inside of DraftSight. Inside of the task pane, you can do all of that in the browser as well. Let's take a look at the maturity state of these drawings. I can expand my dashboard. I'll add the collaborative lifecycle app with a simple drag and drop. And we'll take one of the drawings that I was working on. I can see when it was released. I can see when it was created, when it was last modified, and all the revisions associated with it, as well as their states. Now, in addition to that, I have the same ability to change the life cycle. For example, with this drawing, let's say I want to freeze revision B.1. Clicking freeze will automatically update the drawing. And that's always reflected inside of DraftSight as well. So, it's always a real-time data connection between the work that you do in the cloud and the work that you do inside of the desktop application, which makes it much easier to be able to manage our data and to make sure that we're staying connected and in sync throughout the entire project process. Now, there's a lot more. So we can manage our data, great. We can also manage our entire project. If we jump over into the Project Management tab, we have the collaborative tasks, just like inside of the DraftSight task pane. And then we have Project Planning. Let me make this a little bit bigger so we can see clearly. Here, we can see our entire project from start to finish. If we put ourselves in the shoes of the project manager, working with the design team, everyone is collaborating together in a single environment. We can see our milestones, the tasks, what needs to be done, what's already in progress, what's been done, and whether anything is at risk of not being completed on time. We can track the burn down rate, how many resources are being used, who are assigned to the project, and which people have open tasks that need to be completed. I can see my task list using the simple swim lane view, as well as see the entire project schedule. So, here are all the tasks. I can see my timeline. This project was started last year. It's going into this year. And I have the same milestones as well as tasks planned for the months ahead. I can also see who's a part of this project. In this case, my extended team. Now, moving on, we have other content that's not just CAD files that relate to the project. Drawings, PDFs, documents, images, all that can be managed through My Documents. Here, I can see a list of the various files that I have associated with the different projects that I'm working on. I can track their maturity status. For example, we have a price list for the materials that we need for the project. And by highlighting and then clicking Maturity, I can also make sure that this content is, for example, released. The price list isn't finalized. I want the team to see it. With one click, we're able to change the maturity of any documents associated to the project as well. Additionally, we can track our entire design process. If we have reviews that need to be done, we have access to all our drawings in our collaborative space. We can create bookmarks to organize our drawings, see what's locked, what's not locked by the various team members, and even track the various change actions associated to the project. The last thing that I would like to show is the ability to collaborate. As we know, collaboration is crucial to the project's success. We looked at some of the ways that we collaborate in a more structured form through the data management cycle, through the project management process. But unstructured collaboration is also crucial, where we can collaborate and communicate with our colleagues and with stakeholders. And for that, 3D Swim is the absolute perfect solution. 3D Swim allows you to create communities, whether by project, by job function, by department in the organization. You can create communities where you can track, communicate, collaborate, and manage the day-to-day operations of the company. Here, I can see a timeline view for any community. I have one for my design team called engineering, and I can see updates happening to that community. So, for one of the projects that we have, a render has been uploaded. There are various project files. We can even create annotations on various drawings and review. In this case, this drawing has a 40 millimeter steel tube handrail, and we would like the design team to update it to a 30 millimeter handrail. All that is possible. That collaboration process, all inside of one community. And everyone has a visibility with the right permissions. Now, this isn't limited to just engineering. We've talked about CAD for quite a bit. This can be used for the project management team to request status updates and track what's happening with the project. This can be used by the finance team to track the expenses related to the project for the fiscal year. This can be used by legal to track any agreements and share and upload documentation. By the sales department to track forecasts and to track their deals, whether in progress or just started working on a new opportunity, as well as for marketing, to be able to share design concepts and images for promotional materials. The facilities team, product development, and anyone else in the organization can use the 3D Experience platform as a single source of truth to collaborate and to innovate together.
So, let's jump back into the presentation to wrap up. Alright, so let's wrap up with a few brief slides. We've just talked about how the 3D Experience platform, combined with DraftSight, allows you to first address all the myths that we mentioned at the beginning, as well as work through the common challenges that we see, looking at the approvals and how we can create revisions for drawings, how we can release them, freeze them, make them private so we have full control of the maturity, how we can share throughout the communities that we have for each of the functions or for each of the projects that we're working on, and how we can make sure that the right people have access to the right content at any given time. To summarize, we start with drawing data management, which gives you the confidence and ensures that your mission-critical, your project drawings, are never lost because they're all stored securely and safely in the cloud and accessible at any given time. Everyone has access to the right content, so you not have to worry about chasing down emails and revisions. Everyone knows what they are working on, and everyone can see the revision history for any given drawing. Everything is tracked and managed, and it is always a single source of truth. The other thing that we look at is project management. We're able to, as a part of the 3D Experience platform, work with apps, such as Project Planner, to completely execute your project from start to finish, making sure that everyone has visibility, everyone is working transparently, and everything is completed on time. So, with the 3D Experience platform as a whole, we've been able to see how we can manage not just our drawings or CAD data, but all the documentation, the PDFs, the images, the vendor agreements, the construction paperwork, all in a single place throughout the entire project process. We're able to connect all the stakeholders, so we're always working on one data set, and everyone has full confidence and full access to be able to know what is happening with the project at any given time. Ultimately, the result is by leveraging the 3D Experience platform. You're going to improve the productivity of your organization and the innovation that you're creating throughout the entire process from start to finish. Because you now have unstructured, structured collaboration, project management, data management, all as a single unified solution.
So, with that, I'd like to conclude with just one last slide, covering some of the resources where you can learn more about 3D Experience DraftSight and DraftSight itself. You can visit our website, DraftSight.com, where you'll find our product details for Professional, Premium, Enterprise, Enterprise Plus, and 3D Experience DraftSight. We also have a great variety of tutorials where you can learn the latest features and learn the fundamentals of DraftSight. Additionally, DraftSight also has a YouTube channel, so I highly recommend you check out the various videos of DraftSight and its capabilities. Finally, if you'd like to request a demo, the link below will take you directly to the demo page on our website. That concludes the How to Share, Collaborate, and Manage Drawings session with 3D Experience DraftSight.